Introduction. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, longing for genuine connection but pushing others away? You're not alone. And this book is your first step toward breaking free. The journey you're about to embark on is one of self-discovery, healing, and transformation. It's a path that leads to authentic relationships, deep self-understanding, and a life of genuine fulfillment. Many of us struggle with patterns of behavior that seem beyond our control. We may find ourselves constantly seeking approval, yet never feeling truly worthy. We might crave intimacy, yet unconsciously sabotage our closest relationships. Perhaps we've built walls so high that we can't remember what genuine connection feels like. These are often symptoms of deeper issues, sometimes rooted in narcissistic tendencies or past traumas that we've never fully addressed. By picking up this workbook, you've made a courageous decision to confront the patterns that have been holding you back. This journey isn't easy, but it's transformative, promising deeper self-understanding, healthier relationships, and a more fulfilling life. You're taking the first step toward breaking free from the chains of your past and embracing a future filled with authentic connections and self-acceptance. I know this path because I've walked it myself. Overcoming covert narcissism, healing from abandonment, and rebuilding intimacy were challenges I faced head-on. As a licensed therapist with over 20 years of experience in psychology and personal development, I'm here to guide you through this transformative process. My personal journey, combined with my professional experience, has given me unique insights into the struggles many face when dealing with narcissistic tendencies, anxious attachment, and the quest for genuine intimacy. Throughout my career, I've helped countless individuals navigate the complex terrain of self-improvement and relationship healing. I've seen firsthand the transformative power of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and purposeful action. This book distills these experiences and insights into a practical, actionable guide designed to help you overcome your challenges and create lasting change in your life. In the pages that follow, we'll delve deep into understanding the roots of narcissistic behaviors, exploring how past experiences shape our present actions. We'll uncover the hidden patterns that may be sabotaging your relationships and hindering your personal growth. More importantly, we'll equip you with the tools and strategies to break these patterns and forge a new path forward. This workbook is designed to be more than just a passive reading experience. It's an interactive journey of self-discovery and growth. Each chapter will present you with exercises, reflections, and practical techniques you can immediately apply to your life. We'll explore topics such as understanding the true nature of narcissism and its impact on your life, healing your inner child and addressing deep-seated abandonment issues, overcoming anxious attachment patterns to build secure, healthy relationships. Breaking the cycle of self-sabotage that keeps you from achieving your goals. Developing emotional regulation skills and enhancing self-awareness. Rebuilding both emotional and sexual intimacy in your relationships. Embracing personal transformation and empowerment. As we progress through these topics, you'll gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the underlying motivations behind your actions. You'll learn to recognize triggers, manage intense emotions, and communicate more effectively. Most importantly, you'll develop the self-compassion and resilience necessary to sustain long-term change. Remember, this journey is not about becoming a different person. It's about uncovering and embracing your authentic self, the person you were always meant to be, free from the constraints of past traumas and limiting beliefs. It's about building a life that aligns with your true values and desires, and forming relationships that nourish and support you. The path ahead may seem daunting, but I want you to know that you can change if you want. I've witnessed incredible transformations in my clients, and I believe wholeheartedly in your capacity for growth and healing. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. Every insight you gain is a building block toward a more fulfilling life. I encourage you to approach each chapter with an open mind and a willingness to be vulnerable. Change can be uncomfortable, and you may encounter resistance along the way, both from within yourself and potentially from others in your life. Remember, this discomfort is often a sign of growth, an indication that you're pushing beyond old limitations and expanding into new possibilities. Throughout this book, we'll celebrate your progress, no matter how incremental. We'll work on developing self-compassion so you can be kind to yourself, even when facing challenges. We'll focus on building resilience so you can bounce back from setbacks and move forward. Your decision to pick up this book is a powerful statement. It says that you're ready for change and you believe in the possibility of a better future. It shows courage and a commitment to your own well-being and growth. Honor that decision. Give yourself the time and space to engage fully with the material in these pages. As we close this introduction, I want to leave you with a call to action. Turn the page and let's go on this healing journey together. The path to authentic self-discovery and fulfilling relationships starts now. Every page you turn, every exercise you complete, and every reflection you make is a step toward the life you desire and deserve. You are not alone in this journey. As you work through this book, imagine that I'm right there with you, offering guidance, support, and encouragement every step of the way. Are you ready to begin? Let's take that first step together. Your journey to healing, growth, and authentic living starts now. Chapter 1: Understanding Narcissism and its Impact. If you're reading this, you've already taken a brave first step toward better understanding yourself and your relationships. I know this journey isn't easy, believe me. I've been there too. But I want you to know that you're not alone, and there's hope for positive change. As we explore narcissism together, remember that this isn't about judgment or labels. It's about gaining insights that can lead to profound personal growth and healthier connections with others. To change a pattern, you must first understand it. What if the key to your transformation lies in unraveling the complexities of narcissism? In this chapter, we'll guide you through the labyrinth of narcissistic traits, helping you recognize patterns in yourself and others, and laying the groundwork for profound personal change. Demystifying narcissism. Let's start by breaking down what narcissism really means. It's a term we often hear, but there's so much more to it than what we see on the surface. Narcissism, often misunderstood and oversimplified, is a complex psychological phenomenon that exists on a spectrum. At its core, narcissism involves an excessive focus on oneself, often at the expense of others. However, it's crucial to understand that narcissism isn't a simple binary trait. It's not a matter of being narcissistic or not. Instead, it exists on a continuum, ranging from healthy self-esteem to pathological narcissism. On the healthier end of the spectrum, we find individuals with a balanced sense of self-worth. These people can appreciate their own value without diminishing others. They have confidence in their abilities, but can also acknowledge their limitations. As we move along the spectrum, we encounter increasing levels of self-focus, grandiosity, and a need for admiration. At the far end of the spectrum lies narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, a clinical condition characterized by a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy. It's important to note that having some narcissistic traits doesn't necessarily mean one has NPD. Many people may exhibit narcissistic tendencies without meeting the full criteria for the disorder. In their book, The Narcissism Epidemic, Jean Twenge and W. Keith Campbell explore how cultural changes have contributed to an increase in narcissistic traits in society. They argue that the rise of individualism, coupled with the advent of social media and the self-esteem movement, has created an environment that often rewards and reinforces narcissistic behaviors. As we explore these concepts, remember that it's normal to recognize some of these traits in yourself. We all have moments of self-focus or a desire for admiration. The key is to approach this exploration with curiosity and compassion, not judgment. Overt versus covert narcissism. Now, let's dive a little deeper. Narcissism isn't one size fits all. It manifests in different ways, and understanding these variations is crucial for recognizing it in ourselves and others. The two primary types are overt and covert narcissism. Overt narcissism is what most people typically associate with the term. It's characterized by grandiosity, an inflated sense of self-importance and uniqueness, attention-seeking behaviors, a constant need to be the center of attention, charm and charisma, often used to manipulate others, arrogance, a sense of superiority over others, entitlement, expecting special treatment or privileges. Covert narcissism, on the other hand, is less obvious and often goes unnoticed. Individuals with covert narcissistic traits may appear introverted. They may seem shy or reserved, hypersensitive, easily hurt by criticism or perceived slights, self-deprecating, but with an underlying sense of superiority, passive-aggressive, indirectly expressing negative feelings, envious, feeling inadequate compared to others, yet believing they deserve more. Covert narcissism can be particularly challenging to identify because it doesn't fit the stereotypical image of a narcissist. These individuals may come across as humble or even self-effacing, but beneath the surface lies a similar need for admiration and a sense of entitlement. As we explore these types, you might find yourself relating to certain aspects. That's okay. Remember, we're not here to label or judge, but to understand. The mask of narcissism. Understanding how narcissists present themselves to the world is crucial in recognizing narcissistic patterns. The mask of narcissism refers to the facade that individuals with narcissistic traits often wear to navigate social interactions and protect their fragile self-esteem. The mask typically involves impression management, carefully curating their public image to appear successful, confident, and admirable. Emotional guardedness, hiding vulnerabilities and insecurities behind a veneer of strength or indifference. Social chameleonism, adapting their personality to win approval from different social groups. Behind this mask, narcissists employ various different mechanisms to protect their fragile self-esteem. Projection, attributing their own negative traits or emotions to others. Denial, refusing to acknowledge facts or experiences that challenge their self-image. Rationalization, creating plausible explanations for behaviors or failures to maintain their sense of superiority. Societal expectations play a significant role in shaping narcissistic behaviors. Narcissistic traits can be inadvertently rewarded in a culture that often equates success with visibility and self-promotion. Social media platforms, for instance, provide unprecedented opportunities for self-promotion and validation seeking, potentially reinforcing narcissistic tendencies. As we discuss these masks and defense mechanisms, you might recognize some of them in your own behavior. That's a normal part of this process of self-discovery. The goal isn't to tear down these defenses overnight, but to gently understand why they're there and how they might be impacting your life and relationships. Root causes of narcissism. To truly understand narcissism, we must explore its origins. While the exact causes are complex and multifaceted, several key factors contribute to the development of narcissistic traits. Let's explore these together, approaching this sensitive topic with compassion and understanding. Childhood influences. The foundations of narcissism are often laid in childhood, with parenting styles playing a crucial role. Neglectful parenting. Children who experience emotional neglect may develop narcissistic traits as a defense mechanism, creating a grandiose self-image to compensate for feelings of worthlessness. Overindulgent parenting. Excessive praise and lack of boundaries can lead children to develop an inflated sense of self-importance and entitlement. Inconsistent parenting. Alternating between neglect and overindulgence can create confusion and insecurity, potentially leading to narcissistic coping mechanisms. Early attachment disruptions, as described in John Bowlby's attachment theory, can significantly impact the development of narcissistic traits. When a child's needs for security and emotional attunement are not consistently met, it can lead to difficulty forming secure attachments later in life, an unstable sense of self, challenges in regulating emotions and self-esteem. As we explore these childhood influences, you might find yourself reflecting on your own upbringing. It's essential to approach these reflections with gentleness. The goal isn't to blame our caregivers, but to understand how early experiences might have shaped our current patterns. Genetic and environmental factors. While narcissism isn't solely determined by genetics, there is evidence to suggest a hereditary component. Twin studies have shown that narcissistic traits can have a genetic basis. Certain personality traits associated with narcissism, such as extroversion and low agreeableness, have genetic components. However, Environmental factors play a significant role in how these genetic predispositions manifest. Cultural influences. Societies that prioritize individual achievement and self-promotion may foster narcissistic tendencies. Peer relationships. Early experiences of rejection or excessive admiration from peers can shape narcissistic behaviors. Trauma and abuse. Severe childhood trauma or abuse can lead to the development of narcissistic traits as a coping mechanism. Understanding these factors helps us approach narcissistic traits with more empathy, both for ourselves and others. Remember, recognizing these influences doesn't excuse harmful behaviors, but it does provide context for understanding and changing them. Psychological underpinnings. The psychological foundations of narcissism are complex and often rooted in early experiences. Development of defense mechanisms. Narcissistic traits often emerge as a way to protect fragile self-esteem. These may include idealization, viewing oneself or others as perfect or superior, devaluation, diminishing the worth of others to maintain a sense of superiority, splitting, seeing people or situations as all good or all bad, the inner critic. Paradoxically, many individuals with narcissistic traits have a harsh inner critic. This internal voice constantly judges and criticizes, leading to a persistent sense of inadequacy, a drive for perfection and achievement, difficulty accepting criticism or failure. Unmet needs manifesting as narcissism. When core emotional needs are not met in childhood, individuals may develop narcissistic traits to compensate. These unmet needs might include the need for unconditional love and acceptance, the need for validation and recognition, the need for a stable and secure sense of self. Understanding these root causes is crucial in developing empathy for ourselves and others who struggle with narcissistic traits. It allows us to see beyond the surface behaviors and recognize the underlying pain and insecurity that often drive narcissistic patterns. Take a moment to reflect on how this information resonates with you. It's okay if some of this feels uncomfortable or challenging. Growth often does. Be patient and kind with yourself as we work through these concepts together. Recognizing narcissistic patterns in yourself. Now, let's turn our attention inward. This part can be tough, but I want you to approach it with curiosity and compassion. Remember, recognizing these patterns doesn't make you a bad person. It's a courageous step toward positive change. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and change, and while recognizing narcissistic patterns in yourself can be challenging, it's an important part of the journey. Self-assessment tools. Let's explore some tools that can help you gain insight into your patterns. As we go through these, remember that there's no judgment here. We're simply gathering information to help you understand yourself better. Questionnaires. Standardized assessments like the Narcissistic Personality Inventory, NPI, can provide insights into narcissistic traits. While not diagnostic tools, they can offer a starting point for self-reflection. Reflective journaling prompts. Regular journaling can help uncover patterns in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Consider prompts like, how do I react when I don't get my way? Do I often compare myself to others? How does it make me feel? How do I handle criticism or feedback? Feedback from trusted individuals. Sometimes, others can see patterns in our behavior that we miss. Seek honest feedback from friends, family, or a therapist about how you come across in relationships and interactions. Take your time with these tools. There's no rush and no right or wrong answers. This is about your personal journey of self-discovery. Common behaviors to watch for. As you reflect on your patterns, be mindful of these common narcissistic behaviors. Difficulty accepting criticism. Do you become defensive or angry when receiving feedback, even if it's constructive? Lack of empathy in certain situations. Do you struggle to understand or validate others' feelings, especially when they differ from your own? An excessive need for control or admiration. Do you often feel the need to be in charge or to receive praise and recognition from others? Entitlement. Do you frequently feel that you deserve special treatment or that rules don't apply to you? Envy. Do you often feel jealous of others' successes or possessions, or believe others are envious of you? If you recognize some of these behaviors in yourself, don't worry. Awareness is a step toward change, and it's a significant one. We all have areas where we can grow and improve. Accepting and acknowledging. Recognizing narcissistic traits in yourself can be uncomfortable and even painful. to move forward. Overcome denial and defensiveness. It's natural to want to protect your self-image, but growth requires honest self-reflection. Try to approach your self-discovery with curiosity rather than judgment. Embrace self-awareness. As Tasha Eurich notes in her book, Insight, The Power of Self-Awareness in a Self-Deluded World, self-awareness is a meta skill that can improve every aspect of your life. It's not about beating yourself up, but about understanding yourself better to make positive changes. Practice self-compassion. Remember that having narcissistic traits doesn't make you a bad person. These patterns often develop as coping mechanisms in response to past experiences. Treat yourself with kindness as you work on personal growth. The psychological landscape. Understanding the psychological landscape of narcissism is crucial for recognizing its impact on various aspects of life. Let's explore together how narcissistic traits can affect mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. The impact on mental health. Narcissistic traits can significantly influence an individual's mental health, often leading to or exacerbating various psychological issues. It's crucial to approach this with understanding and compassion. Co-occurring disorders. Narcissism frequently coexists with other mental health conditions. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, some common co-occurring disorders include anxiety. Individuals with narcissistic traits may experience high levels of anxiety, often stemming from fears of inadequacy or loss of admiration. Depression. The constant need to maintain a grandiose self-image can be exhausting, potentially leading to periods of depression when this image is threatened. Substance abuse. There's a higher risk of substance abuse among individuals with narcissistic traits, often as a means of coping with underlying insecurities or emotional pain. It's important to note that these co-occurring conditions can mask narcissistic traits, making diagnosis and treatment more complex. If you suspect you're dealing with multiple mental health issues, seeking professional help is crucial for accurate diagnosis and appropriate treatment. Remember, reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Emotional dysregulation. One of the hallmarks of narcissism is difficulty in managing emotions effectively.